This week, it's been all about COP26.
The clock ticks for planet Earth. Can COP26 deliver?
Around 120 world leaders are gathering in Glasgow for the talks.
With one principal aim, to get the world to commit to reduce carbon emissions and to avoid a climate catastrophe.
It's 1 minute to midnight on that doomsday clock, and we need to act now.
It's unbelievably serious. So what sensible plan has Boris got to save the planet?
And I think we certainly could start by rewilding our oceans. There's a lot of space to do that.
We could feed some of the human beings to the animals.
Well,
that would...
Forget the sea. Let's feed Granny to a squirrel. She wants to preserve the oceans. He wants to turn us into animal tapas. And that wasn't his only mad suggestion.
Cows burp a great deal and emit gases, and we have to encourage them to stop burping.
We have to encourage cows to stop burping. How? Chat to them in a field. Now, Daisy, what should you not do? Burp. And why is that?
Because it's dirty.
What else?
Fart. It's bad. Because my turds are killing the planet.
I'm 41. It's... so many nuts ideas. Did anyone else see Prince Charles' speech at the conference?
Work together to rescue this precious planet and save the threatened future of our young people.
Wise words. So what practical advice has he got that we can all follow?
My old Aston Martin, which I've had for 51 years, runs on, can you believe this, surplus English white wine.
Just fill up your car with Chardonnay. Surplus wine. British people don't have leftover wine. If the bottle's opened, it's getting finished. Mind you, at least Charles was at the conference.
The Queen will miss the COP26 climate summit in Glasgow, following advice to rest.
Did you see one of the reasons why she's had to rest? The Queen is knackered because she's been staying up watching TV.
Fucking Squid Game, man. I'm obsessed. If you'd have told me, hey, Liz, you want to come round mine and watch some Koreans get shot on the head where they play marbles? Probably would have said, not my thing. Turns out I'm hooked. I love it. And the Queen's Gambit. Oh, I mean, that's what we call Prince Andrew. But it's still a lot of fun. Now, worryingly, the Queen wasn't the only absentee.
China's President Xi Jinping and Russia's Vladimir Putin won't be joining the talks.
Which is brutal because China emits more greenhouse gas than the entire developed world combined. Come on, China, this is important. I mean, even the Taliban have joined calls to save the environment. If we don't save the planet, innocent women and children will die. And that is our job. We believe in the caliphate and meat-free Mondays. No, you're a meerkat. It was a shit impression, but I don't know many Taliban members. It's nuts. Terrorists are doing their bit, and some of the richest countries in the world couldn't give a shit.
Saudi Arabia, Japan and Australia are among countries asking the UN to play down the need to move rapidly away from fossil fuels.
It's a disgrace. Saudi Arabia love fossil fuels so much, they've unveiled plans for a sprawling oil rig-themed amusement park. Forget Disneyland, we've got Petrol World! How bleak does that sound? Hey, kids, you've heard of Mickey Mouse? This is Darren Dolphin! Mind you, here in Britain, we're not exactly saints. Have you seen what we're doing to our water? MPs vote to allow water companies to dump raw sewage into rivers and seas. Our rivers are so disgusting. Children can play actual poo sticks. You know it's bad when someone on the BBC is using language like this.
I'll let you guys be the judge of what is coming out of this pipe. But I can tell you one thing, by standing, you know, just a couple of meters from it, it smells like absolute
Why did they bleep it? This is what we want. Honest news. Wouldn't it be great?
Good evening. Boris is talking shit, Priti Patel's a dick, and Keir Starmer is doing piss all. Here's Jenny with the weather.
It's fucking raining.
That's what we want. The news should swear. I mean, fuck me. Look what else is in our rivers.
There's wet wipes, there's sanitary towels, there's tampons. We've had swimmers reporting swimming along and having a sanitary towel stick to their face.
Tampons on the face. The government are literally making us look like cunts. No wonder they couldn't find Nemo, just...
I've been stuck in a fanny hanky for 2 months!
Horrible! Christ, I mean, the way we treat the planet, you kind of understand the protests. Unfortunately, the way some people do it doesn't exactly help. I mean, look at this.
The group Ocean Rebellion call this disruption through the medium of art. A protest against ocean pollution entitled Dead Mer People.
Will somebody not think about the mer people? If we don't do something, fictional characters will die. Today the mermaids, tomorrow the pixies. How's that helping? It's like this woman earlier this year.
We're here to basically put the word out about climate crisis because it's a serious, serious matter.
It is a serious matter. So, how did she put the word out? She got her tits out. And I know there's people going, excuse me, if she, as a woman, wants to get her tits out, then that is her business, not yours as a man. And you're right. But it's not going to stop climate change. In the same way, I'm not going to stop knife crime by doing the helicopter. You know, just outside the playground, I believe the children. I'm doing my bit. What are you doing, eh? Mind you, showing your hooters to stop polluters, very proud of that, is nothing. This guy took it further. Extinction Rebellion protester glues his head to roads. Did you see him on the news? He started off so defiant.
The government's response to the climate emergency in terms of the number of heat pumps that they're looking to put in, they're looking to put in 90,000 out of 25 million. That's less than 1/3 of 1%.
Then when he realised he had to cut his face free with scissors, he had a change of heart.
Do you regret the gluing? Are you
yeah, it's not one of my better moves.
If I had me time again, I'd probably use blue tack. It's frustrating, isn't it? Because most protesters make sense. I mean, look at Greta Thunberg. Did you see her arriving at COP?
Activists are demanding more action now, led by Greta Thunberg, mobbed as she arrived in Glasgow. But she says there's still hope.
If we can't keep the global average temperature rise to below 1.5, then we do 1.6, and then 1.7, and so on. We can always prevent things from getting worse. It's never too late to do as much as we can.
And she makes good points, but no matter what she says, some parts of the media hate her, particularly GB News.
When the Swedish teen speaks, we are meant to listen.
Has she been invited? Apparently not.
I thought she said she wasn't going.
She's really a religious nutter. I think she's just an angry young woman.
She does like the limelight after all.
How dare she?
How dare she? How dare she save the planet? She should do something honourable like us and set up a news channel for fuckwits. It's not just Greta. Did anyone else see this protester having to deal with the idiotic suggestion from talk radio presenter Mike Graham.
What do you do for a living, Cameron?
I'm a carpenter.
A carpenter, right. So how safe is that for the climate?
Well, I work with timber, which is a much more sustainable material rather than concrete. I also
But you work with
retrofit-
trees that have been cut down then, don't you?
It's a sustainable building practice.
How is it sustainable if you're killing trees?
Because it's regenerative, you can grow trees.
Right. Well, you can grow all sorts of things, can't you?
Well, you can't grow concrete.
You can. See you, Cameron. Cheerio.
Over at COP26, the deal didn't exactly go as planned.
It's a done deal. A new global climate agreement has been reached and declared both a success and a failure.
The final text was watered down with last-minute changes to the wording on coal after pressure from two of the world's biggest polluters, China and India.
Coal is to be phased down rather than phased out.
Our profound disappointment.
Right at the death, China and India changed the text from phase out coal to phase down. And yet, Boris claimed it didn't matter.
Whether the language is phase down or phase out doesn't seem to me, as a speaker of English, to make that much difference.
Out and down mean completely different things. If you tell someone to put the dog out, and they put the dog down, there's going to be a chat. It's not. It was so disappointing. Mind you, if you think the deal was brutal, so was some of the journalism. Did you see what happened to this little girl?
How old are you, Sophie? 10. And why did you think it was important to be here? Oh, I think we're moving on to Greta. I think Greta Thunberg is starting on the stage, so we'll go to her.
How harsh is that? What do you think, Sophie? Oh, news just in, no one cares. Over at COP26, the kids were on the march.
People in Glasgow and around the world take to the streets demanding the COP26 delegates deliver strong action on climate change.
Teenagers, students, they've all turned out here today to be a part of this march because they feel it's their chance to make a difference.
Young people are banging the drums. They're saying, you might not listen to us, but we're going to make our voices heard.
They weren't just banging the drums. Some of them had a song for Boris. All people not quite so passionate.
How worried are you about the climate from 1 to 10?
I'd say about 4.
Hey, Boris. Nothing.
Fair to say this lady isn't changing her habits for anyone.
Well, would you eat less meat, for example?
No. I think sometimes if we'd done that now, it'd be more harm than good to us, like when they're going about smoking. I ain't giving my fags up for nobody.
Give up me fags? Fuck off. Mind you, she isn't the only one refusing to give up meat. Even the people at COP26 couldn't be bothered. They were criticised for a menu mostly made up of meat, fish and dairy. What a piss take. They want us to eat broccoli and they're smashing Big Macs. What was the entertainment? Panda slapping and kitten wanging? Just... You've got 9 lives, prove it! Surely they should be setting an example, because clearly eating meat is bad for the planet.
If everybody went vegan by 2050, we estimated that the food-related greenhouse gas emissions could be reduced by 3/4.
Exactly. The only problem with going vegan, alcohol. If you're sober, veggie chili, tofu scramble, fine. You have a couple of beers, fetch me a dead animal, Nobody has ever got pissed and queued for a tangerine.
Do you know what I mean? Oh, I must have been on it last night. Look how many probiotic yogurts I've had.
I reckon that's why they give vegan products edgy names to make them sound dangerous. It's never a vegan burger, it's always a dirty burger, filthy burger, nasty burger. And it's not. It's full of quinoa and beetroot. You feel like a tit ordering. Hello, can I have a bad bitch burrito and some bad bitch burrito and can I have a side of fuck you fries, please? It's such misinformation. It would be like Michael Bublé bring out an album called this. And as for the vegan sausages, A, they're an acquired taste, and B, they look like dicks. Not that meat was the biggest talking point of the climate conference. That honour belongs to this monumental story. Joe Biden farted close to Camilla, and she can't stop talking about it. I cannot wait for that scene in The Crown.
You dirty, dirty bastard.
We've actually got a photo of the moment it happened. Apparently, Boris took a blast too. This is my favourite bit. Apparently, Camilla described it like this. It was long and loud and impossible to ignore.
Seriously, Charles, he's got an asshole like a fucking foghorn.
It dominated the conference. It was all anyone was talking about.
This is a profound and urgent danger to us all.
Incredible, immoral, devastating, bursting with energy.
And it didn't stop.
No one is safe.
We cannot outrun your carbon emissions.
We've got a bomb disposal team on site. Keep in mind, Joe Biden wanted to do even more.
The problem with climate change, we clearly need to do something. Unfortunately, the people trying to raise awareness are people like this.
Please, with me now. Sound the alarm like the blackbirds.
How does that help? Nobody's going, well, I was going to buy a diesel car, but then I saw a prick dressed as a blackbird. Can you imagine if David Attenborough saw that? Here we see the drama students. Where's the pride of fucking lions when you need them? And they don't just dress up. Extinction Rebellion demo left 120 tons of rubbish on London streets. They left it filthier than my mum's mind when she's watching Luther. Mind you, littering is nothing. Have you heard about ecosexuals? Ecosexuals believe that having sex with the earth could save it. It is a different level of delusion. The planet's overheating. I'm gonna fuck a hedge. What are you doing? I'm trying to save the world is what I'm trying to do. How about a bit of respect, Maureen? No, you're mad. In case you don't believe me, here's an ecosexual in action.
I call upon all orgasms that have ever happened in the fucking United States of America and bring all that energy, all that orgasmic energy here tonight.
I mean... That's not going to save the planet. You're going to ruin your sheets. So I know what you're thinking. What gets an ecosexual horny?
And I get especially turned on by trees.
Who doesn't? Anything else?
The moon is a very high-powered vibrator. Absolutely.
The moon's a vibrator. Well, that would have changed the moon landing, wouldn't it? One small step for man. Houston, we have a problem. Christ, no wonder he's called Buzz Aldrin.